All right, guys, we'll get started in just a moment here, waiting for some people to pile in. Comments are open. What's up, Skywatchers? What is up indeed? All right, guys, today we're going to take a look at some wildlife. Here in Alaska, they are sticking them with vaxes. If you guys have been following me for some time, I've been complaining a little bit about the lack of wildlife that I'm actually seeing around me. And I'm talking many weekends drives and here in my yard. Like yesterday, this weekend, I probably put on close to 400 miles and not one moose, not one bear. I think even in the last week, other than the gray jays and the bunnies, I've seen one fox. So it's very, very, very concerning. We even have a moose closure during our hunting season over by Denali. I'll play that video too so you guys know exactly where the hunting closures are. We're going to look at some, thousands of deaths across the country and the world from the heat. So we'll take a quick look at that. And then this weekend, yesterday, I took a drive down to Poker Flats and I stepped in front of the big and incoherent scatter array radar system that they got there. And boy, I did not feel good. I still feel a little wonky, and I'll show you that video and I'll talk a little bit about the effects, the proven effects that, are caused by these things. Let me just take a quick look in the comments and see who's in the house right now. Sharon. Hello, Ed. Bless you. What does that say? Okay. Let me put it up on screen. Thank you, Sharon. I do appreciate that. All right, guys. Let's just get into this first clip, and I'll pause it along the way, and we'll talk when we have to. Or, if I see a comment I want to respond to right away, we'll do that, or I'll put it up on screen. I've only done a half dozen of these lives, and I'm still getting used to the flow of all this, and sometimes they're not going the direction I want. I want to do something else, but all these news stories, I think they need to be shared. I'm not sure if everyone is understanding what's happening across the world and how weather modification, weather warfare is a huge part of everything that we are seeing, from the Antarctica anomalies that are still popping up. If you guys watch Into Thin Air, then you have seen these anomalies just keep popping up. Well, at the same time, here in the north, they have their equipment on, and, I'm thinking these two machines from Antarctica up here to HAARP, they have to be connecting on a level that is probably unprecedented and not seen very many times, but I really can't say that for sure. But I do know what we're seeing right now. There's no other way to act. Once you understand all these machines, these facilities, all this equipment is working at the same time across the world, I believe everything that we see is a direct result of these installations. Let's get right into the first video.
Canceled the season for one of the game management units. The hunt for antlered bulls in Unit 19D has been canceled after moose populations in that area experienced a significant decline during the 2022-23 winter. This unit falls southwest of both Denali National Park and Denali State Park. Of the 15 calves collared in March of 2023, none survived the remainder of that winter. If the population rebounds this year, the season may reopen for fall of 2025.
Today
Yeah, they've closed down so many of our rivers to salmon fishing as well. You know, I haven't even attempted to go salmon fishing because where I have to drive is like, what, 8 hours away from me? And I'm not even sure of the laws at this time right now down in southern Alaska. Maybe you guys probably know better than I do. I'm not going to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars in gas. Um, I'll just eat whitefish, all winter. But this is getting really ridiculous. I've seen in many parts in the lower 48 where they are closing off wilderness access and trails, even inside of towns, because it's too hot. So they want to protect you for your safety. And, you cannot close off the land to us Americans. I'm sorry, government, but these are our lands. You were entrusted to take care of them, and you have violated that trust on so many levels. When I show you guys this next video, man, I don't know, it made my blood boil. And there are some related articles. For some reason, I couldn't upload into StreamYard, but it tells how many bears and wolves that they are killing across the state so that they can ensure the quality of another caribou herd. And they're out there playing God with these animals, and they put tags on them, and that makes me sick to my stomach. When I see a wild moose or a bear and they have a collar on, what we're doing, I shouldn't say we because I'm not part of the state. What the state is doing is wrong on so many levels. These are not dogs for you to play with, state. Sorry if I sound angry. I am angry at the state because they're making it difficult for Alaskans to subsist on the wildlife out here. And, I know many people have moved up because of the state, and hospital workers and school workers and police and all these different organizations, all state mentality people. Uh, State mentality people have no idea what it's like to be normal. They may have once, but I'm pretty sure they forgot, because what I see is bad human behavior. Let's get into this. I see a few people dropped out. They don't like what I have to say. They must be beholding to the state.
We're at the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center, and Sierra and I are going to be vaccinating brown bears. Woo! That boy is
Doing
big.
what?
That boy is big. Winter is coming, so we want to get them now before they get into hibernation, before they head off for the big sleep.
I'm in full camo.
Yeah, we're full camo. We're going like full stealth mode for this.
We have 3 brown bears at the AWCC. We have brother-sister brown bear, JB and Patron. JB's our only male. He's the biggest bear that we have, and his sister's kind of the middle-sized bear, and then the smallest bear, which is also the oldest bear that we have at AWCC, is Hugo, our grizzly bear.
They're actually due for the rabies vaccines. It's not common that we get rabies, but it is in interior Alaska, so it's very possible it could show up here. Rabies can cause animals to go nuts, to attack, to do really crazy behavior, and so we don't want to see a 1,000-pound brown bear with rabies. That's just a terrifying thing. We've got a stick pole for one, and then Sierra kind of figured out this blow dart situation for another. Blow dart on fishing line so we can pull it back quickly. Sarah, I will show you. This is cool.
Yeah.
So I just make like a little like
up.
loop
You're
in the
in
line.
the great outdoors.
Hit
What
them
the
with a
hell
dart
are
to
you
vaccinate
doing?
them. They often will grab the dart and eat it, and we're really concerned about that, you know? But Sierra has always been my modern-day MacGyver. She came to me this morning and she's like, I've got it.
So I put it in like so.
Modern day
down
moron.
like that. And then just tuck it in like that.
Cool.
Let's go get a couple brown bears.
Yeah, wait till those bears get you.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is
we
why
can only have
animals
one
are
camera
so
go with
pissed
us.
off.
So these guys are brown bears. It's basically a very large grizzly bear. I mean, they are used to coming to this area for regular enrichment training, but if they see a whole bunch of extra people
Enrichment.
coming around, it's not their usual situation. They're definitely get their spidey sense.
Enrichment training for wild animals Are you freaking crazy? You know, when they rehabilitate these animals and put them out in the wild, do you know they actually beat them so that they're scared of humans? And then they happen to stumble across a human who's previously beaten them. And these animals are ready to attack, right? I mean, I would. You beat me, and, you know, the outcome's not going to be pretty. And, well, that's what they do to these animals. I just get so tired of it, guys. What they have done to all of us the last 4 years, not to mention a couple 100 years, but specifically the last 4 years, and I see this happening out here in the wilderness by me. I really hope I don't meet these people, because they are going to get a extreme ass chewing.
This is tingling, and that'll be it. Good luck getting close to him again for a while.
Patrol! Patty cake! Patrol!
Oh, right here. She's coming right now. Is she unhappy about the camera? Can you stay back just a little bit? Patron already is leery about what's going on. She's kind of hanging back.
Oh, you might be able to get JB.
Oh, hello, JB. Let me just see if I can stick him right now. Hey, ouch. Watch out, watch out, watch out.
You watch out.
Got him. JB comes up and presents his shoulder, and I get him. So I'm thrilled that I actually got at least one down.
You thrilled?
But hopefully he doesn't take off and have the others follow, because we still have 2 more to do. Austin, her? Patron is coming in close. Her? Yeah, get her. Sierra's getting her. Watch, look. Got it.
I hope these people
Get up.
watch my channel. I really
Nice
do.
job. Good job. It worked. Now they get their reward for being so good. So where's our 3rd customer?
What do you get for being so
Hugo.
bad?
Okay. We kind of didn't think we were going to get Hugo, but now she's moving in. I'm just going to try this with a stick pole.
Nobody needs those VCs.
Got her.
No one.
It's okay, Hugo.
Sorry, but we're done.
Look at the elk.
I jab her
Here
in the front
Alaska,
shoulder with
right?
a stick pole. She definitely is mad about it, and as she's moving away, you can see that it probably hurt
Yes,
too. But we
Wendy.
did need to get her vaccinated. I just feel really bad to give her a good poke like that.
Well, Hugo wasn't super impressed with that.
Yeah, I mean, I
seemed
got
like
her
a-
in the shoulder, and the thing is that once I start going for it, I didn't think I was
Oh,
gonna
no,
get a
you
chance.
gotta go for it.
Oh, here she comes.
Yeah, guys, as soon as I finished that video, I got an article on my news break, and it was talking about how many bears and wolves that they've killed down in southern Alaska. I think it was on one of the islands. It's probably all around Alaska, really, right? Because I'm not seeing wildlife, and I should be. Man, if you guys been with me, you've seen my cabin, the yard. You've been on the trips with me around Alaska, and it is one beautiful wilderness here. And I'm just really seeing a lack of animals. Let's take a look at the comments and see what you guys are saying. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's not up here. And, you know, I predicted at one time, I'm like, yeah, there's no ticks in Alaska yet, right? They're going to invent the ice tick, and it's going to take down the caribou herd. And they're going to make sure no one can subsist without the new government food. I'm sure you guys know, you go to the grocery store, everything says bioengineered on it. I'm still a little heavy, but my diet is really getting down to a nitty-gritty few items. I just can't I won't eat anything that says bioengineered on it, right? I just won't. And with the millions of animals that have been slaughtered in the United States alone over the last few years due to whatever they say it is, I know what it is. They're reining in our food supply, our water. They're polluting our air. Those of us that are left when this stuff is over, they are going to have such control over the civilian population that we're basically slaves to this government. And what we've seen the last 4 years, I'm still showing you we're marching forward at an ever increasing rate into the new world order. I mean, everything I see has been manipulated, from the weather to social engineering to our food. the list is so long. I mean, like I said, I just keep coming on here and making videos. Every time I see something, I'm going to bring you guys something. Sometimes I want to do this more than once a day, but I really have a lot of stuff to do around here. You know, it's almost July, right? And we've received a lot of rain. We have forest fires. They're putting burn bans on everything. And I'm going to guarantee that they are going to make so much rain here in the last month of summer that no one's going to be able to get out and enjoy all the things that Alaska has to offer. And they're disappearing at an alarming rate anyway. I don't know, guys. I get crazy with this stuff. Let's see here. Yeah. Do research the nanoparticles. They are in everything from smart dust and to our food and our medicines. It's in everything. You know, they're just trying to shift us into this new world. Captain Tom, good to see you, buddy. I always get you in the comments. It's the first time I think I've seen you in a live. Good to see you. Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. David. Yep. Yeah, I've seen the videos. I haven't seen in the microscope for myself, but I can really imagine with everything else we're seeing. And, you know, I do have some, a little bit of experience behind the microscope. Did a zoology course back in college. And like I've stated before, I dropped out of college. I had other things to do. But I really did want to be a zoologist at one point. It wasn't in the cards. Now I'm trying to get all my studying done. I'm a little older and now I have time for studying. All right, guys. So what do I got here? Let's see. Okay, this is just a McDonald's fire here just south of Fairbanks, Alaska. Last I looked this morning, but yeah, I took a little drive down with the wife this weekend. Right, see, you go get some feral pigs, that's delicious. But here, instead of allowing the hunters to hunt, the state is going out with helicopters and they're shooting a lot of these animals from helicopters, and we don't get to hunt, right? Or they'll close the season, or they'll close the fishing season, and even the commercial fishing. I'm not up to date on what's happening. Oh, hold on a second here. I'm not up to date what's happening with all the commercial fishing, but last I heard they were closing just tons of different aspects of that industry down as well. I suppose I could do a report on that. It's just so much of everything is constantly being closed, and then they reduce our free speech, right? There's certain things. There's a lot of things I'm not really allowed to talk about or say, and that's why anyone watching on YouTube right now, please go to Rumble. I know some people complain about the functionality of Rumble. I don't know that I'm ecstatic about it myself, but from what I'm hearing, it is one of the last places where free speech exists. What I got up on the screen right now is another bridge and another train derailment. This time, it looks like a natural event as far as the raging water took out the bridge and the train, as far as I know. But we know raging water is all a result of weather modification, geoengineering, stratospheric aerosols, and weather warfare. If you've been following this channel at all, then you know that if you're out there studying, and some of you guys even have more research years than I do, but I have researched so many papers, so much science to this stuff. And believe me, I'm not going to sit here and quote the science, but instead I'll break it down, especially these scientific papers, the way they're worded. It really does take a lot of work to research those papers and understand the terms that they're using, because they're the terms you're looking for, but you're not going to recognize by their scientific jargon. And even on this video, I will, in the description, leave a link to what I'm about to talk about. I went down to the big scatter array radar, and man, it really did a number on my skull. I'm still paying the price today, but we'll talk more about that as we get into this video. Yeah, Wendy B, exactly. Christy Belly, war began 2020. Yeah, that particular war did. But man, do you know, I don't know how many of you guys know. I know some of you are seasoned veterans on this stuff. But back in the 40s, there was a military operation called Operation Paperclip. And they brought all the leading scientists from Germany over to America. Specifically, one that comes to mind is Werner von Braun, and he was the first head of NASA. And him and Walt Disney were really good friends. And Walt Disney, back in 1959, produced the movie Eyes in Outer Space. It wasn't about space. It was about weather modification and geoengineering. And they were already doing this in 1959. And so I do see a lot of posts out there in the communities talking about how these are not the clouds of their childhood. And I've showed you guys in previous videos, this stuff has been going on since the 1700s. They have been manipulating the weather by burning forests and stirring up big sandstorms. This is how you manipulate the weather, and especially big percussion sounds, And if you're familiar with the Indian rain dance, that's not just mumbo jumbo or anything. That's all actual scientific principle. You have the big boom that creates vibration in the atmosphere, right? When they dance, the dust is kicked up. Those are cloud seeds. And all the chanting is another frequency and prayers to the gods, right? This is all very scientific process, even though that's one of the more ancient, simple ones that a group of people can do in their community. What these scientists are doing is complete psycho madness. And they are, most people don't understand that the higher echelons of the scientific community are dark occult scientists with dark occult history and ties. And this goes across the spectrum from, a local politician all the way up to the Council of Foreign Relations. That's how this stuff works. And this is how they're able to pull the wool over our eyes, because these people reside in every community, even the Freemasons in every nice sized community. They might not have a clue what they're doing or who they're doing it for, but they do have their marching orders, and their job is to implement, whether it's wearing Crocs or, man buns. These people put this stuff into society. You want a new shirt? Get a Freemason. He probably owns a car dealership or other positions I don't really want to mention right now, but that's how this stuff works. That's how they get it down to our level. Oh, I see a great comment here. I got to put this up. Like Mike Morales used to say, they want to turn the desert green, and they are. Yeah, they have been doing that over there in Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. And, if it was those governments in charge of it, I'm sure they might do a better job. But what we are doing over there is we are flooding them out. We have changed their seasons. They're getting snow. They're getting, once was just pure desert, is now just flooded desert. It is weather warfare at its finest. And remember Operation Popeye. If some of you guys, I'm sure, know, some are new to this still. Operation Popeye was done back in Vietnam, and they flooded out that country. And, our boys, are getting compensation for Agent Orange. I had an uncle, two uncles actually, who were exposed to that and have got settlements, but they don't really understand it like we're talking about right now. They just, one of them is passed on. But yeah, so this stuff has been perfected. I know there are some guys in this community and they'll tell you it's not weather control. It is weather control. They know what they're doing on a large scale. The problem is eventually the planet will strike back, and it'll strike back hard. I don't even know how to prepare for that, guys. I don't, but let's take a look and see what's going on here. Yeah, Christy Belly. We've been watching that for some time in slow motion, right? And when it hits, everything's just gonna bam. And we saw the that bill that got passed a week ago for the draft. They're gonna draft your daughters, right? And I've had people come out, it was the Democrats, but I went and looked at the vote. It was just as many Democrats and all the Republicans, except for 3, abstained from that vote. And that was Georgia, Kentucky, and Montana. Where were you, Alaska? Man, these Alaskan politics, these people, they need to be run out of the state. I don't know who's listening right now, but man, if you're in Alaska, we got to run all these politicians out because they are destroying the state. They have destroyed our access, and they have destroyed the wildlife. They have destroyed the fishing. They have destroyed the PFDs. Everything this state does, everything it touches, it destroys. So I'm not for any of these politicians, not any of them across the board, anywhere. Right and left, same bird. Yeah, what is it, a vulture, a turkey, a turd bird? A turd bird? Yeah, it's something, definitely. But let's take a look at this bridge collapsing. I just had to throw that up. Yeah, Wendy, they are destroying this beautiful state, and it breaks my heart every day. I got to be careful because I do get excited. It does boil my blood, and I have to be careful of what I really want to say because, well, it's not that pretty. It really isn't. All right, let's take a look.
He's actually just moving around a little bit. It was a static shot before we went to break. But man, you want to talk about the impacts of flooding? Look at that. And look how fast that water is moving. It's unbelievable, the power of water. When you see it in person, especially, water is just such a scary thing. There's just nothing you can do to stop it in a lot of situations. That's not the only spot that's been affected. Of course, there have been lots of spots across the northern plains and the upper Midwest. It's some drone video out of Spencer, Iowa. This was from yesterday, and wow. River flooding really is something else. I mean, flash flooding is one thing when it rains and then the water goes up and then the rain stops and the water goes down. But this, when you see it's just completely sunny outside and these rivers just keep swelling up and you just have to watch it happen. And you've got all these businesses and homes that are, I suppose, kind of in that area that can be affected by the river if you live close to it, obviously. But it always blows my mind how far inland the weather or the water can get in these situations. So, yeah, that is Spencer, Iowa. Do we want to hit another spot here? Yeah, how about Alvord, Iowa? This is a train derailment. So you just saw that live video of a train bridge that went down, and now you're looking at something that happened on Friday. This was in Iowa, another result of river flooding here, where an actual train itself got derailed. I would imagine probably while it's moving. And again, just another example there of the power of water.
Oh, look at this stuff, guys. All right, I got to pause that right there. Hold on a second here. Did you guys see my video where the farmer's applying the styrofoam-like substance to his field just before spring at the end of winter there? And what it does is it's a snow enticing chemical. So you put on an inch of this stuff on your farm field, right? And you get a few inches of snow overnight. So that they say the dark activates that chemical. And it's exactly, and and in that video I showed here at my house where it was fallen on my deck. And when I did that post on Facebook, a lot of other people were showing similar images that they had taken. And so I saw this video right here of this strange hail, and it reminded me of the same stuff that goes on the farm fields. I can only stream 720 right now, so I don't know how good the picture is for you guys, but when I can, I will definitely upgrade the system. I had a storm cloud just like that out here over the weekend. I did get photos. It was pretty intense. Yeah. Yeah, so you guys can see the amount of damage across the entire country, and we haven't even got to the heat domes yet, right? It's pretty crazy. I'm going to pause this right here. We'll come back to this in a few minutes. I kind of want to share this right now. This is where I take a ride down to Poker Flats. And like I've already said, my head is, I'm okay. I'm better now, but yesterday afternoon, last night, and this morning, I was a little out of it. After all this is published and up, I will go link an article that talks about these radars and the health effects that they have, especially when you stand in front of it, right? They had put an egg down at one time when they were just making these things, I think it was. And they went back and flipped the switch, and the egg actually blew up. Because, what radars are designed to do are to jiggle molecules, right? Especially water. And we'll get into that a little bit more in a second. But let's just take a look at this real quick. Listen to this. It works in conjunction with HARP, and I think I can feel it getting inside my head, so I am done here right now. I'm going to back that up because I did not get to hear what I wanted you guys to hear. It's like the program was skipping a little bit, but it's this big electrical buzzing and it's phasing in and out. Yeah, exactly, Wendy B. It is microwaves. It works in conjunction with HARP, and I think I can feel it getting inside my head, so I am done here right now. What's up, Skywatchers? What is up indeed? Did you guys get a chance to hear that thing before the car came by? Well, it's working, so I'm not going to spend much time down here. But right now, I am down at Poker Flats Research Facility, and this is their big incoherent scatter array radar system. It works in conjunction with HARP, and I think I can feel it getting inside my head, so I am done here right now. There's the big round one, and then there's the absence of a cloud right to the right of it. All right, guys. So I do talk about this a lot on the Facebook channel and a few YouTube videos. Can you see where? No, you can't see my cursor there, can you? But there's that big round cloud with the stripes over to the left upper screen. And this diagonally right down to the left of it is a big hole where there should be a cloud, but there's nothing, right? They take these phased array radars and they can direct an electron beam and they can cut out any geometric shape they want. And I've showed this in the sunshades where they cut out a chunk of atmosphere and then they polish it with lasers and it acts as a lens or a mirror. And that's what they put in front of the sun. And we have filtered sunshine all the time. It's just not stratospheric aerosols. There is so much that goes into this. It is a very large picture. Some of you know this. Some of you are just getting into it. I have put up a lot of papers demonstrating this. One in particular out of Arecibo, where they cut out a huge chunk of atmosphere and then they heat that. And, they call it a heated volume is the name for it when you're looking at these HARP papers. Like I said, you really have to know how to read these papers. And I'm no scientist, right? I'm an old truck driver, farmhand, ranch hand, cowboy kind of guy. But this is what I had to do because it was driving me nuts seeing all this stuff in the sky. And I'm listening to people talk to me about water vapor and freezing points and stuff that doesn't even matter when I know cloud seeding and solar geoengineering and geoengineering at large are actually happening. So why the hell are you telling me about water vapor? It's just like climate science, right? They want to take your eyes off of what is really happening and feed you full of science to the point where you're scratching your head. You're like, okay, I think it makes sense, but it doesn't. But they do always incorporate a sliver of truth into their lie. Otherwise, the narrative would fall apart. Let's look in the, yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Tinfoil underwear, huh? You never know. All right, let's press play here. Do you see those? This thing doesn't catch up to itself very well. Oh, it's beautiful. When Alaska is not interfered with, it is the most beautiful place in the world. Yeah, it depends on what aspect you're talking about, Chick Eastwater. Like I previously stated, they started flooding out lands with burning forests. Oh, hold on here. They are burning forests in the 1700s to make it rain out west, make it rain in the Midwest. The atomic bomb in the 40s, when they did that testing out in the desert, it actually changed the weather of the world, okay? It never used to rain in Southern California, right? And then all of a sudden, right after that test, it started flooding. So you can even take that back to the 40s. You can take it back to the 1700s. And if you really want to know, if you're really into weather modification, this goes back even into ancient Sumer. They were putting gold into their atmosphere to repair the damage that they had done from their technology. So, believe it or not, I've already researched ancient Sumer, the Anunnaki. I understand that history, and it's more real than what the system gives us right now. So don't write off ancient Sumer and their stories and their technology. And when you understand that the technology has always existed, you will understand how each of these civilizations had blown themselves up, literally. Mud floods, Tartaria, the Ragnarok, all this stuff comes from Atlantis, black magic. All this stuff is technology through the generations. But this system has done everything it can to hide actual knowledge from us. And that includes everything we see today. I mean, people are running around with all these different conspiracy theories, and some are true. Some are so far out there that they make conspiracy theorists look like idiots, and it's done on purpose. So you won't see me throwing out a whole bunch of these whack conspiracy theories, because I want to maintain my credibility and the things that I've learned over the last 10 years and can demonstrate. That's what I want to focus on. Just want to keep it as real as I can, but I'm going to take you outside your comfort zone once in a while. It's just going to happen. It happened to me. I love that. Yes, yes. Let's see here. I like to respond to these things. Keep pushing the alien card. You know, it's only aliens as far as modern day science goes. Otherwise, in all of our history, from ancient Sumer through the Vedas, through China, it doesn't matter what country we're talking about. These entities have always existed right here on our realm. We don't need to look outside of this realm. They're here. This has always been a thing. Who do you think controls the reality? But no, I wouldn't call them aliens. They're something entirely different. Now, where did that comment go? So I can get it out of there. That's the plan. Yeah, it'll blow us up. Is that what you mean? Yeah, I think it is. I think they're going to summon these, whatever they're trying to do with CERN, right? And, CERN can rip a hole in the magnetosphere. And every time they turn on HARP or a HARP-like facility, and we're talking many from the South Pole Station to Super Darn to even some of these smaller units, what they do is punch a hole in the ionosphere and allow for all this cosmic radiation just to come rushing right through and destroy the layers of Earth's atmosphere. Certain communities who are shifting around this information will tell you it's the sun. It is not the sun. And the sun even is white because of all these nuclear explosions that have destroyed our atmosphere. But no, it's not the sun. It's technology that allows for cosmic rays to come in. And we're seeing I can't prove this. I just know it to be true from the sun on my skin, UV, B, and C. And the forest dying, the tree leaves are curled brown when they should be all green, right? I know some plants actually do that. As the fruit develops, the rest, like a tomato plant, will turn brown and die, but that's not what I'm talking about. But we can see death on a large scale, and it's because of all the things that these scientists, dark occult scientists, are doing. You think CERN has a lot to do with the weather, huh? While I know these facilities do modify the weather, especially if you're cracking holes in the magnetosphere, right? All the things that can happen from that are just scary as hell. And I imagine that will affect large portions of the weather. But is that all you think they're doing at CERN? I think they're doing something pretty nefarious. And now they got the even bigger CERN coming up, right? When is that supposed to be done? I think they said 2035, just in time for the next eclipse. One of their, all their dark occult science happens around all these different solar and lunar events, and our time. They know what time it is. I do believe some of these groups when they talk about the timeline being changed and the years being different. And, I've kind of seen the truth of that. I'm not going to sit here and try and prove any of that to anyone, but I've seen the truth of it. "30 particle accelerators." Yeah, I had seen some of them around the different places. And I know there was even one in Texas. I think they said they stopped it in its tracks, but I think they still built it, didn't they? There's a lot of things in Texas, even that, what is it, a 60-foot wall buried underneath the dirt there. And, that's going back to the mud floods and the Ragnarok and all those different events that happened in history. We won't get into that here right now. Yeah, control the weather, control the food, control the world. Exactly. But so here's this big military, the fire on the military base. It is just over 50,000 acres right now. And they said it was started by lightning strikes. And we know they can create lightning. If you've seen some of my other videos or you've watched Miku Kaku talk about this on CBS News. I have a clip of that I've shared before, and they can make lightning anytime they want, and they can direct it anywhere they want. So, let's say lightning strikes somewhere and it's like this 1 in a billion chance that it ever happened. Well, chances are they created it, right? This is what these crazy people do. I have not heard of that one. Ah, okay. I do love great movie breakdowns. I do that myself on the couch when I have time. Both the wife and I are in it as much, and we come from different perspectives. She has hers from her books and her research, and I have mine, from my own take, but we usually land pretty close to each other. It's pretty crazy how that works. Yeah, Jetta, that's good. That's good. My wife comes from a farming family. I've done a lot of farm work and ranch hand work, like I said earlier. We didn't have nothing like these problems. And I think even before those days, any problems that were created were most likely created by the state. It just seems to be the way of it. Yeah, Darren, I see CERN is unleashing demonic entities. We're going to see what's a lot of people are going to be going, it's Project Bluebeam, and it could be, but these things can also be real right when they happen, and everyone's going to be so confused they won't even know what to believe. Yeah, I'm kind of ready for it. I just don't know when they're going to pull all this stuff out. Captain Tom, it's 9:30, 9:20, just finished dishes. It is 3:21 p.m. right now, Captain Tom. All right, let's take a look at this fire. My head, so I am done here right now. Yeah, I couldn't stay any longer. That buzzing got right inside of me. Just gonna is to jiggle. Think about it. Denature oven is a good example. But right now, I am down at Poker Flats. Microwaves are the energy waves in between infrared and radio waves. This is electromagnetic radiation, and we are surrounded by radars and 5G towers and beyond. There is so much stuff happening around us, and people are buzzing, hearing the frequencies, and nobody seems to be just right, do they? I mean, is everyone normal to you? That's not what I'm seeing. And aside from all the psychological trauma that's been induced the last 4 years, and the chances of somebody having something in their system that they should not, and the frequencies, this is This is wacko world, man. This is crazy. You're losing signal, Captain Tom. Oh, no. Oh, no. Try and get it back. I don't want to lose you. There you go. All right. Let's get back to all the flooding around the United States. And everyone you know is going to attribute this to climate change, right? You got to remind them of the HAARP testing that happened in May. And right after that was the Antarctica anomalies, and many. And even up here, while they're not making northern lights, they are doing so much right now, even over the weekend, that I just think all these things are working together from pole to pole. And whatever they're doing in the middle of the country, you know, spraying these heavy metal particulates and hitting them with microwave radars, I mean, that's going to create a shit ton of heat, right? Excuse me. It's going to create a lot of heat. And, I mean, we can prove this. These things are not natural events, but thousands and thousands of people are dying. Here, this video right now is a lithium battery factory, I think it is, and it exploded over in South Korea. I mean, those EV electric vehicles, what a joke. I mean, the batteries are going to be the death of the world. So much is, right? Just everywhere we look, they're constantly doing something.
Died overseas while on a religious pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. Their family believing they were victims of an intense heat wave there.
No, I did see
hundreds of people. A statement from the Saudi.
I did see the Burning Man one. That wasn't from that event, but that was a hell of a thing too. A lot of my family and friends down in the lower 48 are still flying around and doing all these events. And, you know, we shouldn't have to live in fear. I don't suggest living in fear. But, man, when I look at events going on around the world, in the country, in the state, I don't want to go do anything. I mean, what I'm seeing from law enforcement, what I'm seeing from the people who sponsor these events, there's always something happening. And, you know, it's like it's planned, you know, it's staged. Most of the things I see are not natural happenings, but more part of social engineering and putting that fear into people, right? That's not what I want to do. I'm just saying I ain't going to none of these things no more. I am glad I am older now. I had so much fun in my youth, going to a lot of large events, large concerts, traveling the country. Yeah, I'm done. That's it for me. And I'm not suggesting anyone else do that. That's just for my own well-being, my own mental well-being. I do plan on like driving around with my video camera and microphone, and you know, I see something huge going on, I will definitely capture it. But no, I'm not putting myself into some event where there's going to be a major shooting. And, you know, this is what the system, I don't know how many actual crazy people are. When I was younger, I hung out with a lot of crazy dudes, and none of them were doing anything like that. And I think what we're seeing today are all operations, with the exception of maybe some one person with a screw loose here and there. Those things do happen, but on this scale, I think everything is invented. Yeah. Yeah, you know, Chick, I don't even touch on that stuff too often, just because there is so much misinformation, and everyone has an idea of what's happening over there, right? Whether it's Ukraine or Israel. And I started paying attention to Ukraine back in 2013, 2014, when the American government interfered with the elections there. And I think it was also Venezuela at the same time. And you know, and you guys are watching TV, sitcoms, movies, pay attention to how much blue and gold is actually in these movies and how it's used and where it's placed. You'll start seeing that there has been an ode to Ukraine from Hollywood for a very long time. This is where they are all connected up. It's kind of one of their nasty little headquarters. That's nothing to the people of Ukraine at all. I have some of them living right here by me, and they're wonderful. This is nothing about the people. And what we're seeing, what most people won't realize, because it's so hard to join all the pieces together, especially they always seem to be moving. But this is a continuation of what happened in the 30s, and you're seeing the exact same thing happen now there. It's exactly the same. It's how you're looking at the information. Look at who is actually controlling the situation and look at who is dying. And you will see the connection to the world wars. I'm not going to talk about that here. That'll get me taken down. People will not be happy, mostly just because they don't understand it from that perspective. And it goes back even further. We can take it way, way back. Black and gold, moon and sun eclipse. Yeah. And here we got all these people that went to Mecca, and thousands died, a couple of Americans too.
Unauthorized to perform the pilgrimage and walked long distances under direct sunlight without adequate shelter or comfort. Thousands were treated for heat stroke after temps reached 120 degrees Fahrenheit at times. One Maryland woman lost.
And announced today that more than 1,000 people have died during this year's Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia, saying many of the cases were due to extreme heat.
Dangerous heat alert for more than 60 million from coast to coast, with temperatures in the triple digits in some places.
Many people heading to the beach. Extraordinary, terrifying, uncharted territory. These are just a few of the quotes for how scientists around the world have been describing the now persistent, stubborn, and record-breaking heat. The dangerous and unusual weather hitting nearly every region of the United States tonight. 270 million people facing extreme and blistering conditions set to get worse in the coming hours. Heat warnings, watches, advisories across the Midwest and Northeast at this hour. Temperatures in some areas more than 25 degrees above average, blasting through heat records.
And see, and then they'll tell you, oh, we're sorry, we can't give you the power you need to cool your home, because they're using that power in these big ass radar units that are heating up the sky. Now, that's my opinion. I'm not saying that it's fact. That's kind of how I see things. All this weather can actually be created when you look at the specific tools that they're using and how they're using them. And are they spraying the stratospheric aerosols? You know, go look for these active electronically scanned array radars in your locations. You know, I'm sure you're going to find them somewhere near where you live.
Already, Texas today saw 113 degrees in June. Records breaking Illinois, Ohio.
When is what, chick? All this is today that I got all this information.
It's impossible to ignore. And it is all happening earlier in, well, it's not even technically summer yet than ever before. Bill Weir is out front.
It
is not even officially summer yet, and the heat is already taking lives by the dozens. In India, during recent elections, at least 33 poll workers died of heat stress on the same day. At least 41 Jordanians perished as they made their pilgrimage to Mecca, where yesterday they set a new all-time high at over 125 degrees. And in Greece, at least 3 tourists lost their lives simply by hiking without enough water or shade. While those places are used to stretches in the triple digits, the American Northeast is not.
I'm not going to touch that one,
Maine must now
Darren.
brace for the kind of heat and humidity found in Miami. And big cities are bracing for a strain on everything.
Extreme. Absolutely. And the Waterville community sits along the Cannon River and saw major flooding as well. 5.81 inches of rain fell from Thursday through Saturday in Waterville itself, the third most across the entire state of Minnesota.
Stratospheric aerosols.
Water took over neighborhoods and inundated dozens of homes.
Cloud seeding.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has declared a peacetime emergency, like he said, to assist with the cleanup, as several contaminants were caught inside the floodwaters. And anytime you see floodwaters, you never know exactly what's in the water.
And there have, notably out of the town of Waterville, reports of the water smelling, a nasty smell to that water.
Yeah, I bet there's a nasty smell of that water. Holy crap, guys. Oh, and then we're back here to the big array unit, so I'm going to pause that there. All right, guys. Well, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover today. What do you guys got to say? Because if I get started rambling again, it'll be a few minutes before I even look at that screen. Once I start, trust me, my wife knows. She's like, can you go make a video, please? Oh, yeah, definitely. Don't forget weather is great for the news. Well, they do. They'll hype all this up on the news, and they'll get you scared, right? And then they'll create some kind of shortage. And there's going to be a shortage on water and cooling, and sorry, we're out of fans. But then they go out there and close down trails, excuse me, wherever the heat is getting excessive. They want to close down parks and trails, I've seen in some locations. And it's like, oh, it's hot, so you're going to close off the world to me? You want to keep me confined to my home over a climate emergency? Some people, they'll be like, oh, thank you. I'm not one of those people. You close off anything to me, and I'm going to get pissed. I don't want my trails closed off. I don't want the lakes closed off. I don't want the mountains closed off. I don't want hunting and fishing seasons closed anymore. These people have gone full psycho. And this is the plan for the world. I have something in my phone right here. I should look for it. Somebody sent it to me. Did not get it uploaded. But basically, I'm not going to be able to find it while I'm doing this. It's a planned famine across these Western nations and all the countries. I think it was 179 nations that signed on to Agenda 21. So I imagine it'll be those same nations who are reining in the food supply, replacing it with this unhealthy food source. I don't even want to call it food. I don't know what it is. And they're going to take away our access to nature. So you can even see they've gotten to the public's mind so strong that people will say, oh, we're in the animals' woods. We encroached in on them. And there's a dozen of these sayings, 100 of these sayings. And anyway, what I hear is the system getting into your head and separating humans from nature, like we are something entirely different and do not belong. And this has gotten into millions and millions of people's heads, not only in America, but around the world. This is what they've been doing. Great Britain and America are two of the worst places for these climate tards. And I'm sorry to be so blunt, but that's what happened. And so everyone's thinking is really warped when it comes to this stuff. We are not to be set aside from nature. If you want to be a full, complete human, I think being part of nature is necessary for the mind, the heart, the body. When you separate this, like they're separating us from the sunlight, right? There's always that stratospheric aerosol, solar geoengineering in front of the sun. And regardless of all the poisons and messed up weather that it can create, what's it doing to our heads and our hearts, man? I mean, that's a real question. Without the sunlight in its pure form, even wearing sunglasses is not supposed to be healthy, but I do because the sunlight now is filtered and we're getting the poison. And so without sunglasses, it hurts too bad to even go outside. But on its natural state, we are supposed to absorb that sunlight, and it does to our bodies what water does. It nourishes it. It just nourishes us. And now I see they're spraying in front of the moon. I'm not even sure what that is about. Why are they spraying in front of the moon? I've seen some of these big YouTubers put out videos where they're like, look there's a UFO in front of the moon. And you can definitely see that it is one of these stratospheric balloons, and they're releasing. If you look into stratospheric balloons, and I've done some videos on this, you'll see that they could stay up there for days, weeks, and even months at a time and deploy chemicals wherever they want. This is a real thing. It's being used constantly, and I think it also answers a lot of the sky anomalies we see when these balloons come down, and look like angels falling from the sky. And maybe it is, but most of the time I do see weather warfare, solar geoengineering technology. Wendy B. When my wife and I got home yesterday from going down to that big radar, I suggested, baby, why don't we go outside in our bare feet and just stand there for a while? And that's exactly what we did, to discharge any accumulation that we may have got in our system, and, drank some water and tried to take care of ourselves after that. I didn't expect it to be that powerful, but it really was that powerful. Good for you, David. Yeah. Ground. I used to I didn't even know grounding was a thing until a couple years ago, and I kept seeing grounding. I'm like, what in the heck is this? And yeah, well, it makes 100% sense. I mean, the same with those baths, with the baking soda, all these things to try and detox from the electromagnetic radiations, the frequencies, the toxins in our food and in our water and in our air. Detoxing has got to the point where it's just almost a nuisance because you're doing it so often. And, I also take iodine drops in my water every once in a while, protecting from the radiation that surrounds us. And then, of course, there's a couple other of these essential oils. They're making all this stuff. I heard in Canada, do you guys still get essential oils in Canada, or did they take that away from you, just like they took the Mectin away from us? All these things that really work and that are made for us, they're taken away because, well, look at I'm hearing about people going to the dentist and not even getting pain meds, and you ever been to the dentist and had to have something pulled? That's nothing to mess around with. These people are like evil and vindictive and want you in pain. And they're the ones, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, these pain meds were no big deal. Yeah, people were abusing them. People are always going to abuse things. That's no reason to make things illegal for the rest of us, okay? I mean, that's just socialist, communist type of mindset. Let people be free to make their own choices. And if someone hurts themselves and they were educated, we should be able to make our own choices. I do not need the state, Big Brother, to make choices for me. Give me some material. Let me have a well-rounded information package, and so I know what I'm doing, but don't make my choice. Essential oils are not natural. Well, how is that? Because they're extracted right from the source. I use essential oils often, and I think they're doing good by me. They haven't hurt me. But yeah, a lot of them, like I know a lady who makes some down here in Delta Junction, and it's black spruce oil. Seems pretty pure. I'm not sure. Yeah, the manufacturers, well, it's like vitamins, right? I like to get my vitamins. You can say I got my chai plant right here. I grow a lot of my stuff, excuse me, right out here. I try to get my vitamins through live foods, especially my garlic and ginger, the onions. We have quite a bit to choose from, but yeah, that live food, as soon as I eat it, I feel good. You know, you can feel it's alive, right? Most essential oils are volatile. Huh. I'll have to do some more digging into that, but like the oregano oil that I do, I swear by its antiseptic, antiviral aspects of oregano oil, you can almost feel it working in your body. That one I really do like. Hey, where'd your comment go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I believe almost everything we're getting now comes, even our meat, right? Does that come from China? How much actually comes from America? And as you know, a ranch hand back in Montana, you know, I always ate the beef right from the ranch. I didn't have to go anywhere. But that's a long time behind me now. The beef that's in the grocery stores, I've had some luck with the hamburger, but the steaks don't seem to taste like they used to. Definitely, they do not grill like they used to. So what is it? Is it my mind working, playing tricks on me, or is it actually what I'm buying at the store? I can't distinguish right now. It's so difficult. Yeah. It's pretty crazy around here. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. If you can, subscribe on Rumble as well. You can look for all the papers and the stories that I post on Facebook, Alaska Skywatcher. It is linked in the About section here on YouTube. And I would like to thank Zook and someone for buying me a coffee on the last video. Guys, that helps so much. I'm so thankful. Without you guys doing that, I might not be able to do this. Because this is what I'm doing now. And work hours are very few and far in between. So if you can buy me a coffee, thank you. Until next time, stay aware, be prepared, and keep looking up. All right, guys, I'm going to play us out with a song and some comments. So have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Well, I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest. No, no. I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest.
Hello, ours guys.
No,
Thank
no.
you.
This ain't easy, darling, 'cause the devil's on my trail.
Thank you, Chickies Water.
I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh, yeah. I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh, no. It ain't easy, darling, when the devil's on my trail. Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Much love, guys. Peace.